All right, hey, welcome back to Big Brother Cycling, and welcome to episode 12. The Ducati Desert Sleds go to Mount Rushmore. So, August the 7th, we are headed out to a nice circular route today. We're going to zip around, starting going out to Crazy Horse National Monument. What an incredible sculpture that is. And then from there, we're going to head on to Windcave National Park and Custer State Park, and finally back around up to Mount Rushmore and tour that. To get to Mount Rushmore, of course, we'll be taking Needles Highway through some of the tunnels and some of that beautiful, beautiful terrain. Also, along the way, we are going to enjoy several stops along the way that show some of the photographic opportunities that you can take out there along the road of Needles, that you can shoot some long-range photography off to Mount Rushmore at the same time. With us today, we've got Joe on his Ducati Desert Sled, and we've got Tom, my brother Tom, on his Heritage Edition, his 2003 100th anniversary of his Harley Davidson. Of course, Tom is on a big circular trip around the United States, starting in Virginia, up through Michigan, Wisconsin, out through the Dakotas, up into a bunch of different areas of Utah, down into Sedona, Arizona, back through Texas, and ending up in Bike Week at Daytona, and then finally home again. So he's had a magnificent trip around the United States. There's so many cool things to see. There's so many cool things to see out there that it's worth every moment of it. So the boys and I are headed south out of our campgrounds, which was the Fish and Fry campgrounds just south of Lead. And that was just really a nice jumping off point. There's a whole series of trailheads that you can leave from, both on-road and off-road. And the first thing we were going to do was head down to Custer and grab a little breakfast. And then from Custer, head down to Windcave National Park. So come along with us as we head out for a wonderful drive here on August the 7th. So we are definitely happy to have you along today. If you do like what you see, if you enjoy the footage, please go ahead and hit that like button. We appreciate it tremendously. If you'd like to subscribe and grow the channel, help us to bring more of this content out there, please do so. And if you'd like to share, that really helps it. And of course, any comments are always welcomed as far as constructive criticism of what we could do better or how much you just enjoyed the show. Again, we are headed across the dam and then down on into Custer. It is a gorgeous area to ride out there, and I would highly recommend it if you get the opportunity, either during Bike Week or any other time of the year when you've got some nice weather to get out on your bike and truly enjoy the Badlands of South Dakota.
Oh good, got the camera going. Look at that.
Try to stay off those rumble strips in the center. They'll wake you up.
Yeah, I haven't hit them yet, but...
Is this the Missouri River?
No? No, that's way too far down.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Continental Trailhead, Rapid Creek, Tamarack Gulch. And look at all of this artificial building that these guys did through here. Number one, I think this is the dam portion right here. Number two, really nice pull-offs with some bathrooms.
I'm not going to pull off.
No, I didn't say you should.
Okay, just seeing.
Visitor center and exhibits a half a mile ahead. All that concrete work on the left, but
nice place.
yeah, very nice spot.
Pontoon boat out there.
Oh, that's pretty cool. He's out there in the morning.
Yeah, fishing.
And then far side, you got a guy out there just trolling along in a speedboat. See that?
Yep, I saw it.
And then just valley to the left of us. That's very cool. And look at this gorgeous welcome center.
Yeah, it is beautiful. Closed. They're not very welcoming right now.
Probably not open till 9 o'clock, right?
Yeah, I know, we're early.
You see they had all the portable toilets out for the bikers today?
We actually come back up here on our route.
Do we?
Yeah. Well, we might be at 44, so maybe we won't. We'll have to just see.
Okay.
Fire danger.
High today. I am really glad we didn't get belted with a major storm last night.
Yeah. I can hear Tom's bike through the...
Yep. Nice road. I know. Oh, they must have a rodeo that comes in here. Or at least something with all the cattle or horses. Yeah, yep. Exhibitions, yeah, that kind of stuff. "62 degrees, we came up 5 degrees.
So this is just some quick shots of the museum there at the Crazy Horse Memorial. Would highly recommend it. It is an amazing piece of sculpture, and you do have the opportunity to go out and see the sculpture, the sculptor, and his habitat, and kind of his thought process before putting all this together. Definitely an enjoyable trip out to the Crazy Horse National Monument.
Bunch of ATVs piled up on your right, straight ahead, ready to go. Little adventure rentals.
So we are here in the town of Custer, and it was really kind of amazing how many motorcycles and people are out having breakfast and touring the town. Really quite an amazing little place. They set up some special parking for us, and the traffic was a little bit crazy. Here's a Myers Manx.
That's a Myers Manx.
A little.
That's cool.
And of course, you can see by all the motorcycles that we are definitely in the height of the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally at this point. So we waited for the traffic to clear, and then proceeded in, and then headed out to just grab a little bite to eat, and we'll take it from there.
You got Baker's Cafe on the left. You got the bistro on the left. Yeah. Did he own a bike? I don't think so either. Buffalo are dangerous. Do not approach.
So having left breakfast, we headed out back down to Custer State Park. This is the first day of our trip. We hadn't really gone through that park yet, but even on the way in, we also went to Windcave.
Yeah.
And as we were going along, we found a whole series
Custer State Park is to the left.
Yeah, found a whole
Hot
series of
Springs is
buffaloes
straight
right
ahead.
there. So very neat.
Okay.
So instead of going up to Custer State Park, we actually headed down to Windcave National Park. And as along the way, we stopped and took a few photos, both of Joe on the bike, Tom on the bike. We took a bunch of photos of a lot of just the motorcyclists coming through, and it was a lot of fun to see all these guys out there really enjoying the beautiful riding that we were having for the day. Also just amazed at the number of buffalo and the number of these majestic creatures that are out there. And here's kind of one that was trying to get up, and it just amazes me how big they are in real life. So definitely a trip to Windcave National Park would be on my to-do list again. So from Windcave, we headed up to towards Mount Rushmore through the Needles Highway, and along the way we had these amazing tunnels that they have cut into the rock just to make the passage a little easier. And of course, as everybody goes through, I guess they call it rev bombs, where they just totally crank up the RPMs on the motorcycle. And as you're going along, you can occasionally spot the sculpture of Mount Rushmore off into the distance, and that's why some people were stopping and really enjoying seeing the terrain. And this is a gorgeous highway to ride. If it was done at a different time of year, I could even see it being more fun. Deemed impossible to construct by its critics, Needles Highway, that is South Dakota Highway 87, a national scenic byway, was completed in 1922. The road lies within the 71,000-acre Custer State Park, just 30 miles south of Rapid City, and is an impressive 14-mile stretch that includes sharp turns, narrow tunnels, granite spires, and of course the world-class views. Needles Highway is one of 3 scenic routes along the Peter Norbeck Scenic Byway. The fun twists and turns and the great tunnels, along with the beautiful scenery, make this a must-do road. It's a great part of the loop that you can take from Mount Rushmore to the Crazy Horse Memorial and then down to Custer State Park. We, of course, did this in reverse. There are plenty of places to pull over and to see the wonderful spires and interesting rock formations. Plus, the tunnels are so much fun to go through, and it's also fun to just watch the pickups that have to fold in the rearview mirrors to get through. Of course, on the motorcycles we didn't have to do that, but it was a very cool little trip. The highway was completed in 1922. Of course, it was said to be impossible to build, but they did it. And the whole road was marked by foot and by horseback by former South Dakota Governor Peter Norbeck. So what you see us pulling into here is one of the many tourism spots that you can pull over, park your motorcycle or your car. And then what we did is we hiked about just a few hundred yards up to a precipice. And of course the precipice had a great view of Mount Rushmore in the back. And I think we're probably still, 3 or 4 miles or 5 miles away from the Mount Rushmore faces.
Park here, you want to park over there?
So at this pull-off, there were, easily a couple of hundred motorcycles that were pulling over, and people were stopping to take photos. And that's exactly what we did. And as you can see here, you can see Mount Rushmore in the distance. That's my ugly mug staring at you. And then, of course, we have Joe also took a little photo here from standing in front of the Mount Rushmore presidents. And then in a second here, you've got all 3 of us that are standing actually at the monument. A little bit out of order on the timing here, but we were there at the monument. And then this is what the actual monument looks like when you're close enough to take some decent photos. Probably the highlight of the trip for me was to see this great sculpture of these incredible presidents. And I would even plan a trip to go back and see it again. So leaving that pull-off, we got the cameras rolling again and continue to head on to Needles Highway. Here again is another tunnel, and like I said, it's just astounding the noise that that echo creates when it bounces right back at you from the tunnel walls. This riding was it's slow, but it's such a cool series of switchbacks and these roundabouts. You pass under these magnificent bridges that, again, I'm just during the riding, I'm really astounded, and seeing it in the camera makes a huge impression on what it's like to really be out there in this South Dakota area. They've done a marvelous job with the roads, with the traffic, specifically considering how many people come out and how many people enjoy this, not just Sturgis, but all throughout the year during tourism season. So as you come out of the tunnel, the first thing that you see straight ahead is the fantastic sculpture of Mount Rushmore. And again, like I said, it's such a huge and impressive sculpture that you just really have no idea how far away you are from it. And again, the riding was absolutely a perfect day for being out and enjoying the South Dakota wilderness. So we did find a pull-off again that had a great view in the distance from Mount Rushmore. It was about 100 degrees this day, so it was a time to kind of just sit back, enjoy, take a breather, cool off a little bit, have a glass of water. And then after we had taken a bit of a rest, we jumped back on the bikes and headed back over to Mount Rushmore itself, finally showing up there just a few minutes later. South Dakota historian Doane Robinson is credited with conceiving the idea of carving the likenesses of noted figures into the mountains of the Black Hills of South Dakota in order to promote tourism in the region. His initial idea was to sculpt the needles, the actual spires that are around the area. However, Gutzon Borglum rejected the needles because of the poor quality of the granite and, of course, the strong opposition from the Lakota or Sioux tribes who considered the Black Hills to be sacred ground. It was originally included in the Great Sioux Reservation. The United States broke up the territory after gold was discovered in the Black Hills. The sculptor and tribal representatives settled on Mount Rushmore, which also has the advantage of facing southeast for maximum sun exposure. Robinson wanted it to feature American West heroes such as Lewis and Clark, their expedition guide Sacagawea, Ogallala Chief Red Cloud, Buffalo Bill Cody, and Algaga Lakota Chief Crazy Horse. Borglum believed that the sculpture should have broader appeal and chose the 4 presidents. And Peter Norbuck, again, U.S. Senator from South Dakota, sponsored the project and secured federal funding. Construction began in 1927, and the president's faces were completed between 1934 and 1939. After Gutzon Borglum died in March 1941, his son Lincoln took over as leader of the construction project. Each president was originally depicted to be depicted from the head to the waist, but lack of funding forced construction to end on October 31st, 1941. Between October 4th, 1927 and October 31st, 1941, Gutzon Borglum and 400 workers sculpted the colossal 60-foot-high carvings of the United States presidents George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln to represent the first 150 years of American history. These presidents were selected by Borglum because of their role in preserving the Republic and expanding its territory. The carving of Mount Rushmore involved the use of dynamite, followed by the process of honeycombing, a process where workers drill holes close together, allowing small pieces to be removed by hand. In total, about 450,000 short tons, 410,000 tons of rock were blasted off the mountainside. The image of Thomas Jefferson was originally intended to appear in the area of Washington's right, but after work there was begun, the rock was found to be unsuitable. So the work on the Jefferson figure was dynamited and a new figure was sculpted to Washington's left. The chief carver of the mountain was Luigi Del Bianco, an artisan and stonemason in Port Chester, New York. Del Bianco immigrated to the U.S. from Friuli in Italy and was chosen to work on this project because of his understanding of the sculptural language and the ability to imbue emotion into the carved portraits. In 1933, the National Park Service took Mount Rushmore under its jurisdiction. Julian Spotts helped with the project by improving its infrastructure. For example, he had the tram upgraded so it could reach the top of Mount Rushmore for the ease of workers. By July 4th, 1934, Washington's face had been completed and was dedicated. The face of Thomas Jefferson was dedicated in 1936, and the face of Abraham Lincoln was dedicated on September 17, 1937. In 1937, a bill was introduced in Congress to add the head of civil rights leader Susan B. Anthony, but a rider was passed on an appropriations bill requiring federal funds to be used to finish only those heads that had already been started at the time. In 1939, the face of Theodore Roosevelt was dedicated. that's pretty nice. Lighting is lighting up. We're done with the rain, hopefully, for the rest of the day. Got our shower. So we finished up at Mount Rushmore and headed back to the Fish and Fry campground. It had cooled off, which was fantastic. If you do like what you see, go ahead and hit that like button. If you'd like to subscribe, we appreciate that greatly. And we thank you for coming along with us. So until the next time, we'll let this finish out. And thanks for watching. Cooled down to 77 degrees, which is much appreciated. And here comes the sunshine. I hope we can dry out these roads a little bit.